welcome back to Moonborn, and we're on season 5, and we're also in nighttime mode. It's very fun. I don't know, I decided not to turn my room light on. I think it gives a little cool little atmosphere to the spooky nature of this particular story. So, let's go ahead and get into it. Very exciting. It says, Mia is praised, but she doesn't like it one bit. Okay. What is that about? Oh, new. Hold on. Did I get it? I got it. Look at it. That's cute. Okay. Chapter 1. Important assignment. That sounds a little loud, so I'm just going to crank that down just a little bit. That's a little bit more manageable, I think. It's actually still kind of loud. Is that better? Wait. Okay. That's better. Okay. Important assignment. A very sleepy Nia was greeted by her boss. Why are we sleepy again? I don't remember what happened. Greetings, Mr. Bo. Oh, from the looks of it, I think didn't we just have a night out with Francis or something like that? Francis and Trisha. Daryl, right. That whole thing, right? What was that the last thing we did? I think. Mr. Bo? I'm very pleased to see you always come in on time. Being punctual is important. He's acting a bit strange and suspiciously cheerful. Mr. Bo unbuttoned the collar of his shirt. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not opposed. Let me stop. Oof. It's only morning and the heat is already unbearable. According to the forecast, the whole week is going to be like this. That's how it is in Texas right now. Oh my gosh. It's like over 100-degree weather every day, and I'm done. Mia, I want to say that, you know, aside from your writer's talent, I really appreciate your personal qualities. This sounds like a little bit of a come on, but you know what? Let's go with it. You're tactful and polite, diplomatic. Do you see that face change? Wait a minute. I'm reading too much into this. I know. Okay. I'm very lucky to have a colleague like you. Thank you. I've got a bad feeling about all this praise at once, which leads me to believe that you are the best fit for this assignment. Okay, fine. Still, that could have gone either way. He began explaining with exaggerated enthusiasm. There's this annual event connected with journalism called Green Pages. It's a charity event set up to help protect nature. Initially started with planting trees to turn them into paper. Now they also organize it to help animals, nature reserves. That's besides the point. Our magazine has finally been invited. That's good, right? Very much so. You do understand how our kind of magazine is usually treated. Nobody believes in vampires. However, we were the first of our kind to be noticed. It's a great honor. He quickly added, and it's good publicity, of course. We don't have to pay for anything. That's what various other guests would be there for. And, according to the rules, we get to take part in organizing the event. More precisely, you do. What? Don't panic. We're only responsible for a portion of the preparations. I knew all the praise was buttering me up for something. Isn't there anyone else who can do this instead? I know nothing about organizing events. Yeah. None of us do, really. You'll figure it out. I've already written down what needs to be done. You manage. We're counting on you. I appreciate your trust, but I'm the boss after all, and this is my decision. Oh no! I love how the music just like cuts out abruptly. Of course, Mr. Bo. Why have we been invited all of a sudden anyway? Thanks to you and Trevor. He received numerous journalistic awards. Then there was your gold debut, so people are starting to notice us. That's why it wasn't sudden at all, but well deserved. Here's your to-do list. There will be a lot of guests, I'm sure, but if we can get some of our own in there, that would be great. The more the better. And they will have to pay to get in, I'm assuming? Yes. I mean, you have such well-off acquaintances. It won't be a big deal for them at all, right? Oh my god. Sly devil. He wiped his forehead with a napkin. Camilla, is the air conditioner working? Yes. Why is it so hot in here? Is he okay? Is he okay? That seems strange. Did Trevor accidentally scratch him or something? I'm trying to think, like, who will be overheated? It's more wolves than vampires. Suspicious. Approaching her workplace, Mia saw a package on the table. Camilla, where'd this come from? Came in yesterday. According to the forums, it's from Europe. You're going to be handling green pages? Seems that way. As if my life wasn't hard enough. I think it's very interesting. I think I would have done a great job. I think so too. You can handle it. Ah, so many good ideas. Everyone would have been delighted. Odd that Mr. Bell chose you. So crafty. Somehow managed to impress the boss. What the fuck is going on with everybody in this office? Sorry, you probably didn't want to distract you from your work. Camilla immediately softened and smiled friendly. It's funny, they said that she smiled friendly, but her smile has actually dropped. If you need something, you can just ask. I know not to be banal. Thanks, I'll keep it in mind. What's wrong with everybody in this office? As soon as she walked away, Mia opened the box. A letter and a small object wrapped in paper were laying inside. Let's see what's written here. Greetings, Mia. Thank you for the article about my museum. As a token of my appreciation, please accept this modest gift, as well as from Jench. Peter Jench. That's so sweet. What is it? She unfolded the wrapping paper. A vampire figurine. That's cute. And it says put it on the table, but it's a shame. Like, literally anything you try to put on this thing, on this particular desk, doesn't go. It only goes on the fancy desk that you pay gems for. But it's stupid because you can pay gems to get items to put on the desk, but they never place. So you wasted your gems. So it's like, yeah. You see how it's nowhere? It turned out that inside of the wrapping paper also had some writing on it. See? Nowhere. It should be there, but it's not. That's a terrible bug that they should fix. May it remind you of our acquaintance. I wish you to write as talentedly in the future as you do now. P.S. Eagerly waiting for an article about you-know-what. Seems like Jen's liked the article. That's good. Though I'm not sure I'll be able to fulfill my promise of telling him everything about the manuscripts. Mia returned to the to-do list Mr. Bow gave her. First, I need to find a suitable place to hold the event. Wait, hold on. I thought they said I'll be in charge of a portion of running the event. Why am I finding a place to run the event? That doesn't sound like me running a portion of it. That sounds like me planning the entire event. So do they just like invite like small companies and then make them foot the bill for pretty much everything? Like, I don't know. Like, basically just like, oh, well here, you run the event. And if the event goes poorly, then it reflects poorly on that magazine and not the whole event as a whole. This is some bullshit. Has to be outdoors. Next, invite a few more guests. Also needs to come up with an entertainment. I wonder. That sounds like I'm doing all the work. And finally, be sure not to go over budget. Where to begin? Place is most important because you might have to put in a reservation. Having found the phone numbers of a few firms that organize camping, Mia began calling and finding out the specifics. How much is it again? How much? For that amount, they ought to take us there by helicopter. Hello? I wanted to know where is your camp located? 3 hours trip? That's too long. No, I'm not interested in fishing. Thank you. Goodbye. Might as well have offered me mushroom picking. She finally found a suitable option. The photos on their website are good and the prices are reasonable. Okay. The first one was cheaper, although further from town. And not quite picturesque. That's alright. The second was more expensive. But pretty. But it's closer to town, somehow, and it's prettier. And the location is much more beautiful. You know we're getting the pretty one. Will affect the storyline in the near future. It's pretty and has great parking. I'm sure the others will like it. Despite a few bad reviews, the overall rating is high. I just hope it's not faked. Come up with entertainment. What would everyone enjoy? Only one thing came to mind. Mia doubt Bart. Hey, Benny, I need your help. With what, Dolly? I need you to perform at a charity event organized by a couple of publishers. Which hall? Outdoors in the evening. Oof. I'm no fan of open-air performances. What's the play like? Mia estimated how much of the budget would remain and named a sum. Not funny. Please consider it, Benny. Not a chance. Come on. I wonder how much. I don't remember how much that cost. Mia tried to make her voice sound as sad and as gloomy as possible. Shame. I can't imagine what to do now. I'll fill the magazine and make a fool out of myself because everyone knows who organized the event. I'll become a laughingstock. This is just a nightmare. With a drawn-out sigh, she continued. I was foolish to assume a star like you would agree to something like this. Alright. Enough with the soul-crushing performance. You got me. Congrats. I'll help. Just tell me when and where. I'll arrange the rest. Vinny, thank you so much. You're the best. I'm aware. They said their goodbyes and Mia hung up. Vinny is going to perform a world-class star event at an event organized by our magazine. It will surprise everyone. Mr. Bell might just excuse me from all of my mistakes for a year in advance. Leaning back in her chair, she got lost in thought. Who should I invite? I don't know any other celebrities. Who would be okay with appearing amid journalists writing about ghosts and aliens? Throwing a glance at her smartphone, she smiled. Vampires and werewolves. Mia began calling all of her few acquaintances, inviting them to come to the event. The conversation with Frances turned out to be short. As soon as she found out about the charity, she agreed to come. Max didn't agree until Mia mentioned the protection of the forest. Victor took the longest to convince, but in the end, he also agreed to come. And that's it. Time to report to the boss that everything is ready to go. It was the evening of the event. As one of the organizers, Mia had to arrive on location considerably earlier. Looking out at the Green Pages event setup and ready to meet the guests, she became anxious. She was eager to see their reaction to the sight. Besides that, she was also nervous about the new dress. It might have been a bit too much. That's cute. Ooh, or an ocean dress. I don't like it as well as I like the butterfly one. Right? I'm vibing this one. Plus I already paid for it. But I like it the best still. That hasn't changed. Should probably fix up our hair a little bit. I'm fine with keeping the necklace, but I might want to do something a little bit different. We can go there. Or we can go back. There's one that was a little bit older. That one could also be good. Like the little flower bits can kind of go with these little sparkle things there. Okay, so a little unconventional. Eventually the guests begin arriving. Hey, great dress for the occasion. Everyone is gonna love it. Mia looked around. I didn't think there'd be this many people. It's a good thing I went with the one with the big parking area. I went with? Didn't I pick it? Come on, let's find Mr. Bell, Simon, and Trevor. They should already be here. The girls headed to the lit tables. So many interesting people around. Writers, journalists, oh, even an actor. Soon enough, the other guests that Mia had invited started to arrive. After a brief conversation, Mia was forced to go elsewhere because Camilla wanted to introduce her to all of her friends. As the constant stream of faces, greetings, and names went on, Mia periodically caught glimpses of her friends socializing. What are they talking about, I wonder? Listening on Max, listening on Victor, listening on Francis. Let's listen on Max. Fall was talking to a group of people. It's you who lacks motivation. No, I can neither pilot a helicopter nor climb the trees. The kids were going on a trip. I wasn't able to join them, so as a replacement they sent the math teacher. And as they were walking, they began laying the groundwork and telling her about the wildlife inhabiting the forest, especially the wild boars. It was a load of crap. Where they were headed, the most dangerous creatures were otters. And when they set up camp, the boys conspired with the girls to hide in the bushes, and then suddenly started rustling in them and making boar noises, while the others started shouting boar. So how did it end? With a rescue. When they were done, they found their teacher on top of a really high pine. Getting up there wasn't too difficult for her. It was getting back down that caused some issues. What the hell? Oh my god. What? Why does this group of kids sound exactly like he would be the ringleader if he was their age? Just think about that. My god. Mr. Rascals. Max shrugged. They're just kids. Max probably has tons of stories like that. Right behind her, Mia heard. I really like this place. It's way better than last year. I agree, it's beautiful, and the best part is so close to town. Very convenient to get here. And do you know who organized it? The magazine that publishes articles about Bigfoot and Chupacabra. Really? How did they even get invited? Because they wanted us to organize everything. What's so surprising? I'm sure they see plenty of the great outdoors while going on their little hunts for elves or wisps. I got to meet the owner, Mr. Bow. He's a bit eccentric, but overall gives off a positive impression. He doesn't believe in ghosts, does he? They better not offer us a psychic as entertainment. You're being too pessimistic. He's being way too pessimistic. You can get out of here. Well, so far so good. Hey there. Good evening. I've had a look around. You did a great job. First you refused to handle this, and now you come to gloat. Don't get upset. Honestly, I couldn't have done a better job. I know. Trevor, I appreciate the compliment, but I'm not in the mood. I spent a ton of time on this, but I'll be the one to blame if Mr. Bow doesn't like something. Oh, come on. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll go get something to drink. A famous writer came on stage. After greeting those present, he began to talk about the greater goal of the Green Pages, about charity and nature preservation. Mia noticed that not everyone was listening. Most of the guests were talking off to the side or hanging around the drinks table. She also found the speech to be boring and decided to instead focus on food. Great snacks. A stranger came up to you. I beg your pardon, Shadow Raven, if I'm not mistaken. That's me. My name is Harry Plant. I'm the chief editor with Epoch magazine. Mia was aware of the biggest selling magazine in town. I read your latest article about the Vampire Museum. Yeah, I'm honored. I never would have thought that you'd be interested in a subject like that. You're right, I'm not. I just have this habit of looking at the works of up-and-coming journalists. And to be perfectly honest, I wasn't expecting much when I opened the Supernatural Daily. I was pleasantly surprised. You've got an easy-to-comprehend style. You could be writing something serious, something real. And not to mention, earn way more than you do now. I've done some research and found out that you're still a student. Next summer. Apparently I'm still in school. I don't know when I go, but sure. Next summer, come to us for an internship. If we get along well, we'll sign a contract. You'll be covering the life of modern teenagers, their worries and interests. A very tempting offer. Also, please, don't take this the wrong way, but you'll have to leave Supernatural as soon as possible. That place doesn't do your reputation any good. Plant offered his card. Consider it. Do I just say, sure, y'all consider it and never talk to him again? Honestly, though, it is something to consider. These people at the Supernatural Daily, I don't know about them, bro. Sometimes I don't know about them. Like, they do some weird shit. Like that conversation I had with Camilla earlier. That was weird. Uh, what do I say? I don't want to say, like, of course, and then Mr. Bo pops up and he's like, don't talk to the guy. Oh, I should just say thanks with no thanks. But I don't want to cut off my... But this guy seems like trash. And a contract? So that sounds like somebody telling me how I need to be trying to take over my creative vision. I don't know. I feel like I would rather, especially since I've been kind of employed by the vampires themselves, I feel like I would rather continue, kind of like maybe change the people's perceived, how do you say it? Perceived impression about writing about supernatural things. It's just something that doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh crap, those people are crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah, thanks or no thanks? Odd. Do you really want to keep writing silly articles about the supernatural your entire life? Yes. You seemed smarter at first. Goodbye. Bye. Meanwhile, the man on stage had already told the guests how they could donate and announced a planned surprise Benny Bart's performance. There were gasps of amazement and cheering, followed closely by applause. The vampire came on stage as the music started playing and his voice resounded over the camping grounds. Well, it sounds like his music from the other night. I'm quite certain no other Green Pages event has booked anything like this. Trevor approached Mia. Wow, how'd you get a hold of him? It was very easily, actually. Benny is very sympathetic and always ready to help. Everyone's in awe. Look at their faces. Mr. Bo's gotta owe you some sort of bonus after this. I wouldn't mind that. It would help since I turned down that offer. After leaving Trevor, she was walking among the guests when a beanie Mr. Bo stopped her. Exceeded my most ambitious expectations. You did a wonderful job. I did my best. And the place you chose is perfect. Everyone is pleased with us. So it got me thinking. Since you did so well, you'll be taking care of this sort of thing in the future. It's not too late for me to turn this episode around and go back and accept that guy's offer. You tripping. That's not what I signed on for. I signed on to be a writer. Not all this public relations crap. Public relations, organizing events, and that puts me in the public eye. The whole reason I wanted a pseudonym because I didn't want my real name out there. But Mr. Bo, there's no other option. We'll talk about it in detail later. Alright, you enjoy yourself. I'm going to go talk to the others. Great dress, by the way. Mr. Bo, I appreciate your trust. I'm glad that everyone was pleased with the outcome. But I didn't sign up for this. But you managed to do so well. I want to write articles, but this? She motioned towards the people standing around. It's not for me, you know? Please don't make me do this. You hired me to write, after all. He was a bit taken aback by this development as he rubbed his chin. You're right. There's one more thing. I've seen Harry playing around here, chief editor of a prestigious magazine. He has a habit of poaching other publishers' employees. Yeah, you better be careful with what you're trying to force me into. Otherwise, I'm out. I'm already aware. I hope you refuse. Keep in mind, he rarely keeps his word. Yeah, he seemed kind of smarmy, but still, you're acting kind of suspect too. Looked at the stage where Benny Bart was finishing his performance. Speak of the devil. Harry approached the microphone. And now, for one more piece of good news. Recently, law enforcement discovered 2 Black Panther cubs that had been illegally trafficked into the country. Now they're at the zoo. However, he raised his index finger. Thanks to the founders, the organization, and of course all of you, today we have gathered enough money to fully cover the Cubs' housing and their eventual return to the reserve. I congratulate all of us, friends. Mia, you also played a part in the salvation of those Cubs. I'm sure that if the founders weren't in a good mood, there would have been less money. He went on to thank everyone, but Mia decided not to listen further. I should go find Max and the others. Can I head off, Mr. Bell? I've got someone I need to greet. Of course. I hope he takes seriously what I said. Mia didn't get to reach her friends as a girl appeared in front of her. We almost could have been wearing the same dress if I'd worn the free option. I wonder what that dialogue would have been like. Hello, you remember this girl? She was like, season 1, the bonus episode. She was trying to buy her way to get the award that we earned. Hello. Phew, good thing I didn't go for that dress. Otherwise, I look like a complete idiot right now. Good evening. I remember you. You're the one that writes about black magic and little green men. I imagine everyone at your magazine is probably also not all there. Bitch, if you have to cheat to get your way into anything, you don't have the grounds to sit around mocking somebody. Like, at all. Anything you say just makes you look like an idiot. Even further than you already were. So, smugly looking at Mia. Listen, do you really believe in all that crap? Or do you lie to your infantile readers for money? I could do without a noisemaker right now. I don't have time for this. Bye. I, on the other hand, Roxy Roy, am a real journalist, and you are just a parody. Making sure that no one was watching, Mia took a step forward. With an evil grin, she commanded, "Go." Like a puppet, Roxy clumsily began walking away. Oh man, you should have had her face plant her face into the punch. Now that would have been funny. But that would have ruined the punch. Oh, we could have told her to take a ladle of punch and throw it in her face. Then that wouldn't ruin the punch. And it'd still be funny. I could live with that. A few steps later, she stumbled into the snack table and fell. Even better! I didn't realize she just sent her off on a random direction. Ow! A few people rushed to her side to help her up. Someone whispered, "Miss Roy, are you alright? How could this happen?" I don't know. It would do good to wear something other than high heels, at least outdoors. She looked at me in confusion. You should get changed. Yes, thank you. Dumbass. Later, Mia found Benny. I wanted to thank you for the performance. Anytime, but now, sorry, I'm in a hurry. Princess also decided not to remain at the party. It was clear that she was much better at conversation now, but still couldn't keep it up for long. Eventually, discussions got sidetracked from ecology to various other topics. Interesting stories from the lives of various magazines were being told all around. Van Art was having a conversation with 2 members of the Truth magazine. The journalist insisted that the existence of vampires was possible, while Victor argued the very notion was absurd. She looked around. The evening turned out beautiful. I managed to show that despite not having too many people, our magazine can still pull off organizing such a complex event. Now will be mentioned in some major publications when they cover the event. That'll be some good advertising. The founders of the Green Pages were very pleased by the participation of the Supernatural Daily. Mr. Bell was expecting his magazine will be invited next year as well. Yeah, because they want us to run everything again. In a few days, Mia forgot all about it. That sounds ominous. When the workday was drawing to an end and everyone was packing up to leave, Mia intriguingly said, "Can I ask everyone to stay behind until nightfall? I have a surprise for you." Is this necessary? I still need to get groceries. And I was going to get my nails done. I'm sure you won't regret it. I don't doubt it. Can't you just tell us about it now? That would ruin the surprise. What is the surprise? How much longer do we have to wait? Trevor dramatically pointed out the window. There, it's already dark out. Mia looked at the clock. Another 20 minutes or so. We've been waiting for the sun to set. Is this somehow connected to vampires? Yes. Soon enough, a car pulled up to the office. The door opened and someone came in. Oh! She called Walter back. Walter? Allow me to introduce you. Your former journalist, lately a vampire, and now your new layout editor. Oh, okay, yeah, he can come back and replace Lewis. That's way preferable. Will you hire me in place of Lewis, Mr. Bell? While his colleagues were busy hugging Walter and asking him what happened, Mia's phone rang. Yes? It's music. Hello, Mia. I know who has the last casket. Okay, so there is one more. I was questioning that. I couldn't remember if there were like 4 or 5. Okay. It's the only pointer that she get important 4 to 2. I don't know. It gets harder to tell as you go on. It's not as clear cut as it used to be. Okay. We're gone for about, record for 33 minutes. We can do another one. Mia says goodbye to some of her friends and flies away with the other ones. Where am I going? I guess to the latest casket. I wonder where it is. And how did he find it? I don't know. On the road again. As soon as Mia arrived at Victor's place, he repeated, I know who has the last casket. It's a group of vampires who lead an isolationist lifestyle. They call themselves the Ash Clan. I've never heard of anything like this. So it's like a werewolf family? No, truth be told, vampires also have a lot of organizations. They vary from clubs based on specific interests to subcultures. Many carry the spirit of the age, and as such disappear or disband as time goes on. Though it's quite rare to come across a truly ancient clan, they remain, for the most part, rather well hidden. All they can boast is a history that spans a few centuries. They have no more influence or respect from any of the princes. What we've got on our hands is a medieval, powerful, and relatively small community. Wow, do you know someone there? It's like, yeah, how did you know they have it? No, the Ash avoid all contact with the other vampires. I see. Maybe that's why Lucas sent the manuscript to them, to hide it from Mora. Now, how can I go about obtaining it? And more importantly, how did you find out it was there? I hope we can negotiate. Luca had to have known what he was doing, right? He had to. Maybe they will be friendly towards me? We need to stay open to all possibilities. You still not telling me how you found out that they had it. Like, seriously, how? We can't do much else. Oh, yeah, tell me what you know. There's some rather dark individuals. Some facts. They live according to ancient traditions. They don't acknowledge the authority of some princes, though they try to stay out of conflicts. Nobody is ever invited or let inside the clan's house. If they do talk to someone, they don't give their real names and always introduce themselves as Ash. I know that a few years back they moved to Prague. If the rumors are to be believed, they're maintaining history records of the vampires. It's likely they possess some unique knowledge. Oh, okay. So he's guessing that they have the casket based off the fact of the type of things they collect. You said that they moved. Why? They had a slight argument in Germany with the local vampires, whose prince got fed up with the Ash. So much for being powerful and independent, since they had to flee, huh? I wouldn't call it that. It was more like that they didn't want to cause confrontation between vampires. Van Art smiled. The dangerous and the powerful were always drawn to Eastern Europe, and the Ash clan is no exception. Reclusive, old-fashioned, prideful. I'll keep it in mind. Old-fashioned. Prideful. Yeah, that is something to keep in mind. Reclusive, old-fashioned. Prideful. Okay. So, our goal is try to be pretty respectful. Kind of like how we treated Emil. Just like, you know, not trying to be like very obstinate, very mouthy. Let's try to keep our head and old-fashioned, so We kind of want to go towards more archaic ways of like introductions and things like that, and remember what we were taught in. Where were we, Amsterdam? I don't. When we were in Europe, they were teaching us how to approach talking about different topics with vampires. Like, don't just jump right in. Kind of, let them lead the conversation a little bit, and to slowly work your way around to what you want to talk about. I'll keep it in mind. So, Prague it is. I don't have any acquaintances in the Czech Republic, but I could come with you. Oh, that would be great. I don't want to risk it, so any help is welcome. Wait a minute. Didn't you want to avoid showing your face in Europe? We have just a little bit to go until we've solved the prophecy. This is far more important than my relationship with the European princess. Thanks, Victor. How is he on the bad side of so many? Like, I am very curious. Thanks, Victor. We need to call Max. I'm definitely planning on doing a full replay with Victor, because he is a very interesting character. After our talk with Victor, Mia visited Max. He didn't ask any unnecessary questions. When's our flight? So I love him, dude. He's just like, yep, okay, I'm down. I'm totally down with that. That's like qualities of like the Turner boys from Shallow Saint 4, Bobby and Michael. Like once they know something's going down, they're totally like, they totally got your back. You know what I mean? I like that. When's our flight? There are no werewolves in Prague. So what? I'm just asking. When are we heading out? I don't want to argue with you, but is there even a but? Seems like there's no changing his mind. I'm kind of glad. Mia couldn't help smiling. She hugged him, nuzzled against his warm chest, and said, Vandar is coming with us. There are plenty of vampires in Prague. If we bring another one with us, I doubt they'd even bat an eye. Alright, so there's 3 of us. Should we bring friends? Oh. Well, I think we should bring Frances, but like travel separately. So she doesn't get caught, because the whole point is that she's someone who can move in the shadows. And a lot of people don't know about her. In the morning, Mia went to the office. Or maybe we should leave her here to help protect Trisha, because Daryl's still out there. Oh, and it'll also be good to have someone here just in case something else goes down where I work, if they're looking for me. But they're not really hunting me anymore, as far as more they're trying to keep their secret from me. But still, just in case they change their mind and they try to get hold of someone that I have important while we're away, it would be good to have like Frances around so she could handle that. How do I explain to my boss that I need to disappear once again for an indefinite period? Dude, I just ran a whole thing. He could give me like a week. I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna take. Mr. Bo was sitting at his table going through his papers. Good morning. I'm still running around in this butterfly dress. Mia, greetings. How are you? I'm good. Well, almost. I need to leave the country for a few days. Can I have some time off, please? How much? I don't know. A week, approximately. I know that no one is going to write articles in my stead, but I've had some unforeseen circumstances pop up. He sighed. Oh, Mia, I hope nobody's on the verge of death this time. Unclear. Not yet, but it is a matter of life and death. And with Walter here, it's going to be much easier. But I was counting on you. I'm sorry. And then there's the new semester just around the corner. Something's wrong? I forgot. I completely forgot about college. I told you this, girl. Like, dude. Yes, you are still in school, apparently, somehow. Mia? Everything is fine. I'm sorry. I just got lost in thought. Seems like work is the last thing on your mind after all. Very well. Go deal with your business. You don't have to come into the office, but please find some time for writing as well. Send Camilla your draft, just so she sees that there's work in progress, alright? Yes, thank you. That's another good thing about working here. Like, since they know about this kind of stuff, so already, and I don't have to worry about that. I can just be like, there's like vampire stuff going on. It's kind of important. I'm gonna miss the start of the semester. I just hope I won't be expelled over it. But if I fail to deal with this prophecy business, I'm afraid they'll expel me without the right to reinstate myself post-mortem. Call Trisha, call the dean's office. I don't know. I guess I'll just call Trish first. I don't know. Hey, Trish, I need your help. Can you cover for me at the college? What are you talking about? I have to miss the first few days. Can you figure out something to say? Sure thing. What happened, though? Nothing much. I just got the chance to visit the Czech Republic. It's just for a couple of days. Alright, go. I'll try to die of envy and come up with some convincing lies for the teachers. Thanks, Trust. You're the best. Gotta run. Bye for now. Yeah, see? Our girl, Trust. Yeah, dude. Gotta make sure that Trish is safe. Mr. Bell approached Mia, holding a big photograph. I got so distracted by your news, I nearly forgot. Here, take a look at this. A photograph of the Panther Cubs. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Oh, and let me guess. This is something else that's probably supposed to be on my desk that it won't be on my desk. And the problem continues. It's those Cubs that were mentioned at the charity event. They're cute. I also have a picture of them. You can go. And Mia? Yes? I don't know what happened, but in any case, good luck with it. Thank you. Alright. She was opening the car door when she heard a voice behind her. Oh. Bitch! With how often she's been attacked, I was ready for a fight. Mia? Hey there. It may be none of my business. I feel like you're in some big trouble. If you want to escape it all, just tell me. I will help you. I'll try to at the very least. As nice as those two may seem, don't forget, they're not human. You are. Newsflash, I'm not quite human either. He lowered his voice. Lewis nearly lost his wife and Trevor became, well, you know, a monster? I didn't say that. Just ask him if he's happy about not being human anymore. Mia, don't get too involved in the affairs of vampires and werewolves. It could end badly for you. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. It's too late to turn back now. She got into the car and turned the ignition. See you later, Simon. He looked on as the car took off. Like, I understand, you know, he means well and everything, but, yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's figure out what we're going to do with Francis. Later, she met with Francis and decided not to beat around the bush. Hey, we found out where the last casket is. That's great. It's in Europe. I'm going with Victor and Max. Francis raised her brows in amazement. Will there be an explanation? Why did I come all the way here? Mia, you should have told me immediately that you don't need my help. I'm a big girl. I would have understood. Please listen to me, she slowly said. That's what I'm saying. Like, she was supposed to be helping us with this. I don't know. Like I said, I have reasons why I wanted to stay here too. But it would have made more sense to have taken her. But, you know, whatever. I don't make the rules. So, who knows? I'm all ears. I'm sorry it turned out like this, but I need you here right now. Why, Moonborn? I'm worried about Trisha. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one. She's the only person I talked to even before this all started. If anything happens to her, I won't ever forgive myself. A vampire called Daryl is lurking about, stalking her. Victor knows a lot about Europe, and Max will be there in case we need to contact some werewolves. Please stay here and look after her. Trisha might also do something stupid, like ask Daryl to turn her. Alright, you convinced me. I'll do as you ask. I'll stay behind and watch over your infantile friend while you go on adventures and solve an ancient prophecy. Don't be like that. She's really important to me. Princess grimaced but didn't say anything. You are a great help. It's alright, don't worry. Next day there was a phone call. Hello, Mia. Our flight's tomorrow. Got it. I'll tell Max. I could use some grapes right now. The flight went without a hitch, and the three of them were greeted by the Prague evening. It's chilly. Mia, she put something on. Yeah, other than running around in a butterfly dress, and now I'm running around in the rain. Think I can catch a cold with my inhuman health? Would you like freezing? Let's not stand around here. We'll still need to find a hotel. I've taken the liberty and booked one. Here's the address. The two of you can go ahead over there. I'm going to begin the search. Some of the local vampires are bound to know about the Ash clan. Woo! Wow. That's fancy. The hotel situated near the center of the town was small, peaceful, and cozy. It's not quite what I would call small. I really like that. Anyway, the doorman greeted them warmly and led them to their corridor. As it turned out, Victor booked Max and Mia a room for two. She was glad about how thoughtful Victor was. Max muttered something under his breath that Mia couldn't hear. Victor will be out until morning. I need to unpack and take a shower. I wonder what he was muttering about. In the meantime, I'll go ask about coffee. Short dark, medium ash, medium pink, medium purple, long dark brown, long dark, long blonde, short blonde. Honestly, kind of liking the medium, medium pink, or the medium ash. Apparently I went for this before. You know, I kind of hate like how it's almost looks like it should have been black, but it wasn't. It's not. It's like grayish, or like even like a black blue, black gray, something strange sort of pepper sort of color. That was okay. Oh Lord, I could be at this all day again. It's kind of fun. I'm telling you, I could be here freaking all day. Apparently I spent a lot of time thinking about this before. I'm just gonna think about it now. When Mia left the bathroom, Max was already in the room. And I was sitting here thinking, what's taking you so long? Yeah, it just came out with, I had time to dye my hair and curl it, whatever. No big deal. Do you not like it? On the contrary, I think it suits you. Now I need to figure out what to wear. This hopelessly crumpled, this isn't warm enough. This is hopelessly crumpled. The dress. I don't know why I even packed this. Oof. There. I think this will do. What we got? Oh, that's cute. Yeah. That looks like clothes I would wear. Why? Like, if they could have paired this sweater top with something that wasn't this, even some sparkly leggings, I would have chosen that. But no, I won't. I was like, going on an adventure somewhere, kind of. A little bit. Or warm shorts. That's also cute. Now she's dressing kind of like Agnes from Chasing You. Free option is cute. But I love this. This is just what I wear. That's exactly something I would wear in real life. Mia was right. Right. The vampire returned before sunrise. Victor went straight to Mia. I managed to find out that there were a few vampire clubs in town. Ash? No. Those who I managed to get a hold of didn't know the whereabouts of the clan house. It's almost as though they are intentionally avoiding the subject. They're scared. How shall we proceed? In the evening, I will continue looking around the clubs. Take me with you. Do humans go there? Yes. Then my presence won't seem suspicious at all. If they ask who I am, you say that I'm... She happily smiled. Your food. Mia, why do you want to meet the vampires so badly? Obviously, Victor will be the one talking to them. I can still listen and watch, though. That way we'll find out more. I don't see any danger in this. I don't really mind. Max and Victor glanced at each other. And what about the fact that you don't speak any Czech? It doesn't matter. I can still see things. I don't know what this little dish is here, but it's really cute. Well, then it's decided. Watch over her. Naturally. I'll be careful. Undoubtedly. Great. I love that they finally got into a point, despite that initial greeting, that I'm still baffled by. Why did Max attack him on sight? Where had they seen each other before? I don't understand. They were both super aggressive immediately. Was he just... You know, he had been kind of... Max had been kind of giving, like, snide comments before he met Victor about, you know, your vampire pal, and, like, why didn't he tell you this, and so, and why didn't he prepare you for that, and blah, blah, blah. Was it just, like anger on Mia's behalf that he introduced her, that Victor introduced her into this world, but didn't prepare her for it or protect her from it at all? Maybe. Maybe, I don't know. But, well, no. In the evening, Victor and Mia left the hotel. There are 4 places to choose from. The Panopticon, Faust, Raven, and Marina. Any intuition where to go first? I like Ravens. But Faust also seemed like a good idea. Let's try the Raven. It caught my eye first. The darker atmosphere of the club went quite well with the vampire aesthetic. From within the ceiling, sounds of men's choir and an organ could be heard. But as soon as it became evident this establishment was more tailored for foreigners, the vampires gathered here were travelers and their companions. Now what we're looking for. As we left the club, Victor said, we clearly won't be able to find out anything of use here. Well then let's try Marina, because it seemed kind of unassuming. At first the choice seemed promising to Mia, as there were a lot of vampires willing to talk milling about. But as soon as Victor would mention Ash Clan, they'd change the subject or leave altogether. Only one of them warned him against asking these kinds of questions. As they went outside, Mia sighed. No luck here. Yes, they're afraid. I want to try this one. Oh, that's different. And I was thinking of trying this one first. I should have just went here. The visit to Faust didn't bring much useful information. Oh, but they took us to a whole, they made a screen for this, so surely there's something to be gained here. There were many recently turned, and all of them claimed to know someone from the Ash Clan. As evident by the variety of contradicting accounts, they were lying, just trying to seem more important. Where to now? Then why even make a thing for this? I remember my first visit to Taste of Night. I expected to see something like this back then. What, a place for infantile whelps? You're too strict. For romantic youth, I mean. I'll go make some new acquaintances and try to get them to talk. Sitting down at an inconspicuous table, Mia watched as Van Art went across the room. Mia's kind of cool. I'm turning it up a little bit. Should I just wait? I have the gift after all. I could have a look around. I could listen to some conversations while I'm here. That's Gift of Moon. I just hope that nobody pays attention to my overly concentrated face. She closed her eyes as she focused. The music became quieter and individual phrases sounded clearer. Speaking in Czech, it's like stones rolling around and hitting each other. I can't make out a thing they're saying. Nevertheless, she continued listening. Soon she noticed a couple of worried vampires. Victor just got done talking to them. Although she couldn't understand them, she did make out a couple of words they kept repeating. Stamesto. Ash. Should I write this down? I don't know. I don't know. She suddenly took a picture of the vampires and continued waiting for Victor. Nice! Good job, Mia. Did you miss me? Not really. Any news? Nothing here. As they were walking away from the club, Victor glanced at the windows. They passed an intersection where he stopped and adjusted his already impeccable cufflinks. Is he making sure that nobody's following us? Since the vampires don't know anything about, more likely don't want anything to do with the Ash Clan, I decided to take a different approach and asked where the best places to hunt are around here. You mean humans? Yes. I was recommended various areas, and everyone I asked made sure to warn me against hunting in Old Town. It's a historical area? Correct. Perhaps it's a tradition, or perhaps it's because someone living there doesn't take kindly to visitors. Mia took out her phone and showed him the photo. You asked him about Ash? Yes. Afterward, he seemed very nervous, mentioned the clan and stare Masto a couple of times. What? Incredible job. I done it good? Well, how'd it go? Seems the destination is Staremisto. It's check for Old Town. Oh. Are we going together? Fall. The vampires will refuse to talk to Mia. She's accompanied by a werewolf. These ones especially so. Max looked at Mia for a few seconds, then looked out the window and asked, "It's useless to try and talk you out of it." Uh-huh. When you go, keep me on the line and a call. That way I can listen. He turned to Van Art again. It's almost dawn. Do we wait until sunset again? Yes. Oh. May I? Yes, come in. The girl is in Prague. Angel Moyer raised his eyes from the papers he'd been looking at. Is this true? Why else would she say it? Like, oh, she's in Prague, I think. Like, how would he ever see that information? That doesn't... Yes, she has been recognized. She's accompanied by a vampire. You won't believe who it is. According to the description, it's Victor Van Art. And they're asking around for some Ash Clan. He forcefully slammed the table. Bam! Cracks appeared in an expensive wood finish. Ridiculous. Why? And why is the Belgian with her? Belgian? Victor's Belgian? I hate not understanding what's happening. Agatha. She didn't like her master's tone. Pick out some lackeys for yourself, anyone you like. Tell them it's my order. You're going to the Czech Republic. Try to avoid Van Art. And get me that girl. Well, I wasn't being hunted, but I'm being hunted again now. Okay, this time we're gonna fight Agatha. Interesting. Okay, so the big bad is not coming yet, thank goodness. Because I definitely could not take him. Agatha is questionable. Last time we were with her, hypnosis needed a little bit of work. It wasn't that great. So I guess we'll see whose hypnosis is stronger, mine or hers. She's most likely definitely stronger. So we're gonna have to see how that goes down. But I don't know. So Victor is Belgian, apparently. I wonder, is this guy like the leader of the Ash Clan? Or, yeah, look at that Angel Mora again. He could be a young Angel Mora. But Angel Mora is a little bit like darker. He's like a bit more tan. He could have gained that tanness over time. I'm just curious why he has red eyes, just like Angel Mora. I think Angel Mora had red eyes. We just saw him. How did I already forget? Oh my god. Okay. Okay, but I think officially, episode 3 was where I stopped. Like, episode 2 was the last episode that I played. So I think for sure, episode 3, I haven't played it before. So I remember reading this tagline and then starting over on Moonborn. I probably checked my first video on Moonborn and me going back. I don't know, but yeah. Okay, so we can keep it going. Next time we'll go do 3 and 4. Interesting things. So we learn more and more about Victor as we go along, and like Angel Mora is like scared of Victor, dude. And it brings me back to like our first meeting with Angel Mora when he was trying to get us into his car. And then Victor came and like dealt with him, but we didn't like see how that happened. I just kind of woke up in the club afterwards. But the fact that even Victor could even then get Angel Mora to let me go because Victor said so is real interesting. Like, who the hell is Victor? Seriously. Like, this dude kind of sounds like he's super OP. It's pretty amazing that we just happen to be friends. Yeah, like he literally told her to stay away from Victor and to just try to like sneak and grab me. Interesting. So I wonder if we're in a situation like in season 2 where we got captured, we had to like fight our way out. Like we haven't got. I feel like we haven't had like a really serious fight since that episode and back in season 2. Like we've been fights like with the Hunter and stuff like that. Like those were alright, but like that was like a full episode of fighting my way out of a place. You know what I mean? I feel like we haven't done that in a long time. Anyway, go ahead and end this part right here. It's already going too long. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and show the like button some love. Subscribe to see more content like this, and I will see you next time. Bye!